Good afternoon, viewers. Okay, today I'm going to tell you about this income tax deduction. Okay, when you take into account the income tax, okay, people they are telling that, okay, so many people they are telling that this income tax came in the year 1961. Okay, but so many people they don't know the birthplace of this income tax. The birthplace of income tax is from the past decades, past centuries, not decades, past centuries. In king's rules, the kings they used to give to their people some benefits, and in the form of tax, they used to collect to fill the treasury and to again give that to some other people. So this tax అంటే పన్ను తెలుగులో పన్ను అంటారు. This tax has its birth from king's rules, kings, queens, princess rules, and gradually this thing it was taken over by the Islamic rulers, and especially when you take into account the Islamic ruler Aurangzeb. Okay, that person, that king, he kept three conditions. Either you have to convert into Islamism, or whether you have to die, or you have to pay jizya tax. Okay, like that he used to keep three conditions for the people. That is, as far as apart from the Hindu Muslim danas and Muslim people, whomever they may be, the Hindu people, he used to keep this three conditions. They have to convert into Islamism, first one, or they have to die, or they have to pay the jizya tax. So it is not a recent development. It is an ancient thing that we are having. And gradually from Islamic rulers, it came to Britishers who ruled our country for 250 years. And the Britishers also, they used to take tax. You can use anything, but you have to pay the tax. Like that, the rule was there by the Britishers. And with that, so many allegations, so many controversies, they arose by our Indian rulers, Indian people, great people like Allu Sitaram Raju and some other Bhagat Singh, all these things, all these people, they are against to pay the rules because the resources are ours. You came from different place and you are insisting us to pay the tax. Whatever may be the resources that were given to us, we are using that. But why should we pay tax to that, to you? Like that, they raised so many allegations. But the Britishers, they don't accept that. You have to pay the tax because if you pay the tax, it is nothing but their income. They can enjoy with that. So one person's expenditure is always an income to other person. In the form of tax, what they used to do is they used to collect. And this tax, after the Britishers rule, it came to India and it was there. And during the Second World War, when all the countries, when they clubbed together and when they fight against the enemies, India is also one of the important country that participated in this Second World War. So in the year 1951, there was nothing. The treasury is nil, and the rulers of India by that time, they thought that it is not the correct procedure because whatever it may be the treasury, whatever it may be the money that we are having, we spend for army purposes. artillery purposes. So we are not having any money to look after the other economic conditions, other economic positions. So compulsory we have to take some amount from the people to provide them the benefit. So tax is nothing but an income received by one person, and the same thing it is paid by one person. When one person is not paying, the other person won't get any income. So like that, the tax came into our existence. And so many people, they used to follow so many procedures, and according to their whims and fancies, they used to spend the money. And whenever they are having enough money, they used to pay, and whenever they are not having any money, they don't want to pay, and they doesn't want to pay that to the government. All these things, they had happened in different states. Different procedures were followed according to their whims and fancies. They used to keep the rules and they used to go. So this is not the correct procedure. The central government, it thought that this is not the correct procedure, because every state, it is keeping their own rules and regulations, and it is doing their own businesses, and it is earning their incomes. But sometimes when they are having enough income, then those people, they are paying. Whenever they are not having enough money, they are not paying, they are avoiding that. Like that, people, they are doing, people living in different states, they are doing like that. And moreover, different states, they are having different procedures, and according to their procedures, they are following. This is not the correct way. We have to keep a correct procedure, and every state has to follow the same rules and regulations. That's why they bring an act, they brought an act in the year 1961. And it was, even though the act was passed in the parliament in the year 1961, it was implemented in the year 1962. That's why we can say that the income tax act of 1962. But generally, people, what they are doing is, they are following the 61 Indian income tax, the income tax act of 1961 only. Like that, they are doing. And the central government, it kept some rules and regulations that should be followed by every state, whomever they may be in, whatever may be the state, they have to follow. And every person, they have to pay the tax to the government, because the government, it is providing some amenities like sanitation, free current, free electricity, roads and buildings, okay, street lights, like that. So the government, it is paying. See, that is correct, because okay, you are not spending money, and you are not laying the roads, you are not fixing the street lights, and you are not doing that, you are not doing the sanitation, okay, drainage facilities, you are not looking after. Okay, so the government is taking responsibility. That's why the government, what it is doing is, even though it is providing the sanitation facilities, drainage facilities, roads construction, or street lights, whatever it may be, the amenities we are enjoying. So it is our responsibility to pay some amount out of the income, whatever we receive, some amount to the government in the form of tax. Because the government, what it is doing is, it is not using that for its selfish purposes. It is providing the services to the other people. And we must also think that, see, the benefits whatever we are receiving from the central government, we should not enjoy. The other persons also, they must enjoy. The generations after us also, they must enjoy. With that opinion, we have to pay the tax amount. And this tax, it should be paid by all the people. So that's why The rules and regulations were enacted in the year 1961, and it came into implementation in the year 1962. Okay, and according to income tax, according to Income Tax Act, there are some privileges. There are some privileges given by the central government to the people of India, to the people of India. But everyone they have to pay the tax. See, when everyone they are paying the tax, there is a controversy arose between the rich people and the poor people. The rich people they used to think that, see, we are earning more, so we are to pay more tax. We are paying more tax. And the poor people they are earning less and they are paying very less amount. It is not like that. The partiality should not be there. The partiality should not be there. So every person they must pay the tax. So in that case, the central government it understood the reality, the real position, and it had given an it had passed a resolution that everyone, whomever it may be, when you are earning, you have to pay some amount to the central government in the form of tax. So this is the thing that we will come across. And so many people, they are telling about the introduction that this is the year and we have to do like that. And in tax also, there are two taxes. Mainly there are two taxes, direct tax and indirect tax. What is direct tax? Direct tax is that tax which was to be paid by the individual who earns money, who earns income directly. So out of that income, some amount must be given to the government. Indirect tax, what is this? Indirect, the word itself it tells us that it is nothing but an indirect way of collecting money. When you are going and purchasing any commodity or any service, you are paying money and you are getting the commodity or service. This means whatever it may be, the expenditure for you, it is becoming an income to the other persons. So the other person, when he is getting income, is supposed to pay the tax. Is supposed to pay the tax. So this is nothing but indirect tax. So there is direct tax and indirect tax. Indirect tax, two taxes will come: income tax and wealth tax. Okay, whatever it may be, the income that you are getting, from that you have to pay some amount. Okay, the government people they are not asking to pay this much amount. Like that, there is no hard and strict rule that the government laid. It had given some privileges, and after satisfying the privileges, whatever it may be, the excess amount you have to pay. For that purpose, the government it introduced two rates of income tax. Okay, two tax rates. One is slab rate and another is income tax rate. So income rate. So what do you mean by this slab rate? Slab. Okay, even though you get benefit or not, when you are doing any transactions, compulsory on this, you have to pay this much amount. Like that, they are keeping some percentage. They are keeping some percentage and they are collecting that amount. Okay, that is slab rate. And income rate, taking into account some incomes from this amount to this amount, there is nil tax. From this amount to this amount, you have to pay this much percentage. Like that, they kept some percentages, and according to the percentages, they are collecting the money. And again, they had given some privileges like tax rebate. What is tax rebate, sir? Tax rebate is nothing but tax discount. Okay, when your income, when it is over and above certain limit, you will be given some rebate, some discount. Okay, so like that, tax rebate was given by the central government. So, and further, it had defined so many things. If you take into account, for example, I'm giving a person. Okay, generally, what you mean by that is a person means an individual, like that. It is in income tax, it is not an individual, please. Okay, a person means an individual, a partnership firm, a joint stock company, a Hindu undivided family, BOI, okay, BOI, and an artificial person created by court of law. These people, they will come under the head person. So, like that, different terms, they came into existence. Previous year. What is the year that had gone? That is nothing but the previous year. Okay, assessment year. For assessment year means whatever it may be, the money that he derived when you are calculating tax, that we will call that assessment year. Financial year, that is starting from, previously it is from January to, previously it is January to December, and different people, they used to follow different financial years. But the central government, after looking after all these things, it kept 1 year as financial year, that is April, 1st April of 1 year to 31st March of next year, that is 12 months duration. That thing only is known as financial year. And whatever it may be, the income that was derived by an individual in that financial year, it will be assessed in the next year. Don't be of that opinion that they will assess tax in that year only. Whatever it may be, the income that an individual earned, it will be assessed in the next year. And whatever it may be, the year before the financial year, they used to treat that as previous year. And relevant previous year and previous years. Okay, just before the financial year, whatever it may be, the year that we come across, we will call that thing as relevant previous year. Relevant previous year. And whatever it may be, the years before the relevant previous year, will use to call them as previous years. So every person, they must know the different terminology used by the tax authorities. And the central government, it established a CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes, like that, a committee, and all the taxes, they were be under the control of CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. Okay, and we are having this indirect tax in the form of sales tax, gift tax, all these things. But all these indirect taxes like sales tax and other taxes, they were abolished by the introduction of VAT. VAT means value added tax. And this VAT also, it was completely removed by Mr. Modi, our Prime Minister, by introducing GST, Goods Services Tax. So with this, what is happening is, okay, the central government, it is getting income, whereas state government is also getting income. When you go for territories, union territories like New Delhi, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, like that, we are having some union territories. So whatever it may be, the transactions, whether it may be a purchase or whether it may be a sale, whatever it may be, that amount, whatever we are doing, that tax amount on the purchases or on the sales will go to the central government in the form of UGST. When you go for GST, we are having 4 types. Okay, SGST, CGST, IGST and UGST. Sir, SGST, State Goods and Services Tax. CGST, Central Goods and Services Tax. IGST, Integrated goods and services tax, and UGST, you mean Union Territory Goods and Services Tax. Like that, we are having different types of taxes. And remaining things I'm going to tell you in the next video class. Thank you.